my channel. My name is Misty, and today we're going to be talking about how to extend sensory play. Now, if you're not sure what sensory play or sensory input is, make sure that you watch this video right up here, and it will give you a basic understanding of what sensory input or sensory play is. Same thing, just different ways to say it. Today's video is about how we take the information from that video up here, and I'll link it down below, and we actually put it into practice. So I'll be talking about how we can make 15 minutes of play turn into an hour or maybe even more. Make sure that if you're brand new to this channel that you hit that subscribe button down below. That way you can stay up to date with all the other sensory videos that will be coming up in the future. But also I do homeschooling videos and you'll see a lot of that on this channel. And the information in this video, if you find it useful for your own use at home, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That way I know to make more videos like this for you in the future. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now in this video, when I say sensory input, sensory play, sensory learning, those are all interchangeable terms when we're discussing the things that we're discussing in this video. A child's work is play, and so all those words mean the same thing while we discuss everything in this video. You just may hear me call it different things at different points. So like I said, the other video is going to give you the basics and some ideas and prompts for how to do sensory play. And now let's take advantage of one of those activities, which today we're going to talk about painting. And we're going to talk about how to take just a 20-minute activity and turn it into a lot more fun and a lot more learning. Obviously, that's why we're here. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to do a painting activity. Often we'll just do this one painting activity, and then once we're done, we just clean it up quickly and move along with our day, right? That is something you can do, that's totally fine. But if you find yourself busy with kids who seem to be constantly wiggly or their brains just won't kind of calm down, then we need to talk about doing some extended play. I don't know about you guys, but when my girls get enough sensory input, they are less chaotic and more mentally organized throughout the day, which makes our day less stressful. And they're able to just concentrate more, I feel like. So that's a huge reason why I do extended play. They will get more learning and they will just be stimulated enough mentally that they're less crazy. Okay, so for the quick example that I'm going to use in this video, we're going to talk about, like I said, painting. We did recently a painting with blocks activity. I took mega blocks and set out various paints for them of their choice, and I didn't give them directions. All I said was don't put it on your feet, that way we can walk to the bathroom and get you cleaned up when we're done. So that was the only rule, just, you know, from the waist down, no paint. Now this type of activity that I did is considered process art, and process art is where you don't have necessarily a beginning and a middle and end planned. It's more about just the process and creating in the moment and having more fun just doing it than trying to create that end result. Now, this type of art is also considered sensory play. Like I said, this is tactile play, fine motor play, messy play, all different types of subcategories within sensory input and play. So that's kind of what you're getting for this first part of the extended sensory play. The great thing about this sensory play is we're using those critical thinking skills and just creating our own ways to do something with the items given. So I set out paint, paper, blocks, and they're welcome to ask for anything else, which they did. We'll talk about in a second. But basically they took the blocks and they found different ways to use it to paint. One child used the bottom of it and created like window panels. The other kid turned the block around and dipped the circle side of the mega blocks and was creating pictures using that end of the block. From there, they also asked to use paintbrushes. They also went and started painting their hands and putting it on the paper. They just found various ways to do this type of sensory play, which is what you want. You want them to create their own versions of this play that will stimulate their brain and get them excited in their own way instead of it being planned out moment by moment. And then when the paper was full, it was fully covered, that led to additional play. They began to paint their bodies, right? My daughter painted her nose. Also, that led to even more painting. What they did was they took the paper plate that they had the paint on and they mixed it around and created art by painting the whole plate just by mixing all the colors onto the plate basically. And then beyond that, they painted the blocks. They then took the paint and they painted all of the blocks. They were not directed to do any of this. Like I said, the only rule was don't get it on you from the waist below so that we can walk to the bathroom without putting paint everywhere. Now here's the thing about that activity. The sensory input play could have stopped there, right? That could have been a 25-minute activity and we could have stopped. I could have quickly cleaned it up and moved to the next part of our day. But no, we don't stop there. We do not stop there, okay? We're going to extend the play and get the most out of it. So the next thing to do is to add in water play. That could be either you putting them in the shower and having them wash off the blocks in the shower, or getting a tub of water or the sink, whatever it may be, filling it up with soapy water and letting them clean those blocks. Plus, obviously, you don't have to do the cleanup, they're doing it. I created this activity in 3 stages, so this is stage 2, the water play portion. So what they did was we turned on the shower, they put the blocks into the shower, and they used a paintbrush, and the paintbrush was their way of scrubbing the paint off. So more fine motor skill, more manipulative play, more tactile play, right? So that's a whole nother sensory input that I'm giving them in the water play portion of this activity. And this lasted for close to an hour. I'm not kidding. They just continued to do this. Even when the blocks were clean, they then took the paintbrushes and used it to put water on their face, and they pretended it was makeup. That's another sensory play. So they had the brushes using water and they were painting each other's faces. So when that portion was done, keep in mind at this point we are an hour and 20, an hour 25 minutes in. That's a lot of play. So now we're extending it even more. So we're done cleaning the blocks, right? They're washed off. There's no more paint on the blocks. Keep in mind when I did this, I used washable paint. I didn't use anything like acrylics or anything like that. So make sure that when you're doing these things, you're aware of what type of medium you're using, because I would not recommend covering your child in acrylic and trying to get upstairs without getting the mess on your walls or anything like that, because it's going to be harder to get off depending on what kind of paint or mediums you use. So the next step was setting them out on dry towels and drying them off. So now we have a whole nother activity for sensory input, right? And you're not doing any of the cleanup once again, and they're willing to do the cleanup because you made it fun. So they'll dry the blocks, and then they'll have that sense of responsibility and helping out in the house by cleaning them off, drying them, and putting them back away in the block tub on the shelf that we have for blocks. So this easily became a 2-hour activity, 2 hours of busyness. And keep in mind, when they were doing it, I watched them paint just because I do it for fun. It's fun to me to watch them do that. But you could have been maybe doing some lesson planning for homeschooling, or maybe finishing up the grocery list, whatever it may be. You just stay close by and kind of keep an eye on them while getting your things done. Then they're in the bathtub, right? They have the shower going, or they're playing in the sink. You're just close by, once again, getting some things done. Maybe you're reading your daily reading, or getting some maybe devotional time in, whatever that looks like. Maybe even exercise. As long as you keep an eye on them, it's fine. Same thing moving into drying the blocks. Maybe you were doing laundry sitting next to them, so they felt like they were doing their contribution while you're doing your contribution, and it's a win-win because everybody can be involved. You could also just skip all your own things and just be highly involved through the whole 2 hours if you want, but I know as a parent, that's hard to do. We have a lot to get done in a day. So keep that in mind next time you're doing sensory play. Extend it and see what it does for you. In our household, my kids are less crazy, like I said, so our home is more peaceful and calm throughout the day. Now that doesn't mean it's completely peaceful and calm. This isn't like a miracle type of activity, but I feel like there's less arguing, and their brains are just, they're stimulated enough that like I don't have to worry about them being so crazy that I lose my mind. Also, it's another day of fun in the books. It's another great memory for your kids, right? Cleanup is done by your kids with minimal complaining because now we made it fun. So don't stop just because an activity technically stops. Just be resourceful and think of ways to add on to the fun and extend the sensory input. If you do try this out, make sure you come back and let me know in the comments, or let me know on Instagram. I'd be happy to hear how it worked out for you. I'd love to hear about what activity you chose and how you extend it, so please let me know in the future. Don't forget, for you brand new people, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go for more homeschooling content just like this. And once again, that like button lets me know that you found this video useful, so I know to make more videos like this in the future for you. And the bell lets you know every time I upload. All right, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun homeschooling. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.